In March 2020, HBO confirmed an adaptation of the award-winning PlayStation video game called The Last of Us, and it's in development by the Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin, which is a fantastic show, by the way. If you haven't seen Chernobyl, it is so good.
Very good miniseries, yeah.
Yeah, and Neil Druckmann has obviously been included, who's the head of Naughty Dog, and the Game of Thrones executive producer Carol Strauss. Yeah, so this is some big news for both video game and TV shows, and we're just going to talk about in general, like should video games be adapted into movies and TV shows? Like, what's the point of it?
I don't know.
I know.
For The Last of Us, you know, it's a bit of an interesting. The thing about The Last of Us one is that they're using Joel and Ellie. This is not an original. They're not using original characters. It's hypnosis from HBO. Do you want me to tell you this hypnosis still? I can do it really intense, you know.
All right, go on then.
Fine.
Let's see if there's any original from the game.
Alright. The story takes place 20 years after modern civilization has been destroyed. Joel, a hardened survivor, is hired to smuggle Ellie, a 14-year-old girl, out of an oppressive quarantine zone, which starts as a small job, so it becomes a brutal, heartbreaking journey as they both must traverse across the United States and depend on each other for survival.
That wasn't the best. I'm not gonna lie. That wasn't the best. But you got the point across.
Yeah. So apparently they're covering events from the original game, and then it's gonna sort of go into like stuff that's eventually gonna lead into The Last of Us 2. So obviously there's is it a 5-year gap? There's a 5-year gap between the two
5-year
games.
gap. Yeah, 5-year gap.
Big period, and they've really got Pedro Pascal on to play Joel. And they've got Bella Ramsey as Ellie, who I don't really rate for Ellie, to be honest.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think she doesn't look the part.
No, she doesn't need to look the part. I mean, she's just a good child actor.
I feel like they do if you're doing it and that's the thing with these shows. Like, if you're using established characters, I feel like they sort of have to look the part if you're using characters that people are really familiar with.
Yeah, but I feel like that the reason of doing this TV show is that like it's generalized to the public rather than the video game industry. Like, I feel like people who play the game don't really care how good the TV show is, because they won't ruin their experience.
But
yeah,
the thing with this is the problem when you adapt video games into TV and film. If the fans that made that series or it was video games don't like it, they will make their voices heard online.
That's true.
And on social media. Yeah. And obviously The Last of Us as a series is in a very interesting place at the moment.
That's a great way to say it, yeah. Interesting.
Because obviously, as you said, this was announced before The Last of Us 2 came out.
Yeah.
And now The Last of Us 2 is out. People have mixed feelings about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will make it very interesting. They have to basically get everything right to sort of make every fan happy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. I don't see the point of this TV show. Like, if it's focused exactly the same as the original game, like the synopsis wise, the game is already cinematic alone. It's very linear. It gets straight to the point. Like, what's the point of making it into a TV show?
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
And the thing is now, I think because spoilers. Put the spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
We need spoilers. Joel died. Joel died by a golf club. So his death was so anticlimactic and it happened so early on in the game. And now they're making a TV series about that character, and you already know how his end's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I don't like in general. It's hard to, obviously it's happened all the time when people have characters in TV shows and you sort of know what's going to happen to them. But it's always hard to make me care about watching if I already know what's going to happen to them.
You're right,
I feel like they sort of messed that up a little bit by having, and that's already left such a salty taste in like The Last of Us fans' mouths, seeing one of the most beloved characters in the series get done in 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and basically got replaced from someone they don't really care about. That was the main argument of Last of Us Part 2 fans, was that They didn't
Yeah.
care about Abby, which is fair enough.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
Imagine
it's
if
fair
you had
enough.
to kill one of your favourite characters and then the game made you play as someone that you want to kill so badly because
Yeah.
they made you... Like,
Yeah,
the
that's
direction
true.
of that made no sense. And that's a worry because obviously Neil was very involved with the writing of The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
So it's just back to... There isn't a lot of great examples of TV. Like, you've got The Witcher as the most recent one. I feel like it's going to start becoming a trend.
Yeah, but it's different though. I feel like it's very different because The Witcher is so big as a universe, and The Last of Us is just so grounded. Like, we just know it's about Ellie and Joel. Like, there's not a lot of other characters. Like, we don't even explore that many states in America. We don't know what's going on anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So like, it's very grounded. It's not like The Walking Dead where like you know what's happened globally and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, a lot of zombie series can just get generic after time, slowly. So like, I'm guessing this is going to be a very small series, which is I'm fine about. But again, I just don't see the point of it. Like, there's no point making it because
I don't know.
because the game is already good. Like this will have to reach that expectation. Otherwise, it's just going to flop. I think not flop, but it's just going to be bad. You know?
Well, yeah. I don't understand why they're making it. Obviously, The Last of Us, they want to put it out there to people that don't play the games, which is fair enough. You want to sort of push your series to different audiences, but why use characters the gamers are already with? You know, gamers can be miserable people sometimes. Like, sometimes they don't. They have, once they play these characters, they've got a very particular way of how these characters need to be portrayed, and if you don't do it right, they will shit on your show or whatever. It's like with comic book characters sometimes, maybe, you know.
Yeah, true.
When you play as them or whatever, you read about them. Why not just expand the universe for the gamers as well by focusing on a different set of characters? Why? And this is the thing with this is why I'm not too sure, like, if it's going to be good or not, because you've already got 2 games on these characters.
Yeah.
And, like, The Last of Us was such a good game from a storytelling perspective and all that, and they try and replicate it on the TV screen. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an unnecessary challenge to give yourself.
It is, especially with the technology that the game industry has. Like, it's pretty much a TV show in terms of like performing. Like the motion capture is basically acting anyway. Yeah. So I don't see the point of it, and it's hard because I just feel like they should have just made the series like how the outbreak happened. I feel like that would have been more.
That would be a bit more interesting. Yeah.
Because as gamers, we just don't actually know a lot of information about it. Like what the first symptoms was, like what actually happened, like maybe a year before, like the first zombie started like eating people. We just don't know anything about that. Like, that would have been more interesting for both the video game fans and just like fans in general, rather than this.
That's the problem with it. It's just that, and it's not even like it was like you said, when you look at The Last of Us, the original one, if not one person thought, oh, the storytelling could have been a bit better. The relationship between, like, it wasn't exactly a series that needed its own TV adaptation, because like you said, it literally did that in the game so perfectly, and that's why The Last of Us, not The Last of Us 2, but I think the reason that's why The Last of Us is probably one of the best games made, to be honest, because it really blended in that TV film sort of feel with these awesome characters and a really, really compelling story. Even though it was a simple story, you still cared about them, and it was such a great way they presented it. And I just don't see why compete. They're essentially competing with themselves now, and it's going to be compared to stuff that they've already done, and just on a different medium. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think, like you said, if they did it on a different setting or a different time in this universe, it might have worked, and it might. I feel like a lot of people are going to be either not giving it, they won't really care, or they'll be very skeptical about this. I
mean, with all the TV productions out there, I'm glad that's with HBO, because they are very consistent with producing great TV shows. But when it goes to the Last of Us Part 2 stuff, like you said with Abby, like there's no way you can portray that into a TV show. Like, when you're playing a game, regardless of the character you're playing, the aim is to complete the game. So I feel like even players, like, they didn't like Abby, but they wanted to complete the game because, you know, that's the point of a game.
Yeah.
So when you kill Joel and it switches to Abby, like, why are people going to be more invested? I don't know, you know what I mean? Because like it's just like like again, like I said, because there's not a lot of characters anyway in this universe.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't care about Abby. Yeah, you just wouldn't care about her.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I feel like this show, I feel like when they make this show, how they're making it, they don't really care too much about the perception it's going to get amongst gamers, because otherwise they'd make another game. I feel like this show is basically, it only be made, obviously it's a TV show, it's got HBO, they've got some good people behind the scenes. They've even got just star by TLOU, who's the original composer for the series as well, on there, and the music's always been really good. So they've got a lot of people good behind the scene with it. It's probably going to win a few awards. You know, HBO, it's very rare for an HBO series not to win
high
awards.
production.
Probably going to win some awards, yeah. Neil's going to get some awards for it and all that.
Yeah.
Probably. They always seem to know how to do it. That's probably what's going to happen, whether or not, but I feel like it's a different question of whether or not the gamers that played the series will like the series at all, because of the taste they've still got from the series. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I feel like if they make this work, and it does come out and it works, and like Witcher's already got season 2 coming out on Netflix.
Yeah.
If HBO get this one out of the park, we will start to see more games that have a bit of a universe or a bit of a story. Those sort of type of games. Getting picked up. # start a God of War series. Yeah, let's do a God of War series. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what HBO pick up. Like, you have to give HBO the benefit of the doubt, like you said. You just have to.
Yeah. No, yeah, you do. I mean, in the end of the day, they're two really good companies, like Naughty Dog and HBO. Like, a lot can't go wrong.
No.
Yeah, a lot can't go wrong. Yeah, I hope not anyway. Fingers crossed.
And you know what the best thing about all this is, Dill?
What is it, Lou?
If The Last of Us comes out of the series and it gets so well received and all that, do you know what that gives me hope for?
What?
A new Super Mario Bros. Film.
Oh, shut up. I thought you were actually being serious, so then you lead me to Super Mario Bros.
One of the best video game films ever.
Oh
Let's
God.
have a TV series. That will make me go back onto Netflix again. Give me a Mario series in that style. With those
I hate you so much.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.